Hello, Roger Dunmore here. This is another little series of experiments that I wanted to show all my friends out in YouTube land. Two experiments that I wanted to show. One about an experiment that Dr. Peter Lindemann performed, and then another one that will clear up any disparity between and remark that my good friend Sky Collection made concerning hollow cores versus solid cores on coils. This is my second Bedini motor, the original chassis, that I've now modified to have a 12-volt battery on the run side of it. And I've also built this entire vertical assembly you can see over here with a wheel underneath, coil on a platform on top, so I can do the first experiment, Dr. Lindemann's experiment. In his experiment, he uses a reciprocating electrical motor, and I'm trying to duplicate that with a flywheel. Dr. Lindemann's experiment, he uses a reciprocating electrical motor, and he puts a sleeve over the coil, and that makes the motor run much faster and more efficiently. And I thought I would try to duplicate that using the Bedini flywheel setup. So to that end, I made myself a steel ring, and then I mounted my coil vertically, as you can see here, so that I could then put the ring over the top of it. Obviously, I'm not nearly as smart as Dr. Lindemann is, because as soon as I took the ring and put it over the coil, the motor slowed way down. In fact, at some point it'll even stop, probably. If you look at the tachometer here, you can see that I'm pulling, no more than 200, probably about 200 RPM. Actually, with the sleeve over it, and now I'm going to put a lid on top. The wheel will slow down, and I made a miscalculation on that last reading. But on this reading, you can see it's really only about, sort of settles out at about 1,025 RPM. So it's very slow. It's just creeping along there. As you can see, I've put a sleeve on this and a hat, a top, and the RPM right now is running at, let's just see what we can get here. Yeah, it's running at about, I don't know if you can see that very well, there you go, 1036, at 1036, right there. Now we'll take the sleeve. I've now removed the sleeve, and our RPMs are now up to, now they're at 1350, 1351, thereabouts. Apparently what's happening is the steel sleeve is actually attracting the magnets on the rotor and acting as a brake and slowing the whole thing down. So I'm sure that while Dr. Lindemann's thing works well, Dr. Lindemann's sleeve and cap experiment worked very well for a reciprocating type motor, they don't seem to work very well for a rotary type motor. So that's one thing I learned out of this series of experiments, was that sleeve is not so good for the Bedini motor. The open coil is in fact the same. Now, I also wanted to take this reading while the thing was off. Okay. The other experiment I wanted to show you the results of was from my friend Sky Collection. This is the filled core versus the air core. I've got a filled core running here right now, and you can see that I am pulling, for the sake of an argument, about 1810, 1815 in terms of RPM. So that's filled, and now I'm going to empty it out. Now, you can see that I've now removed the welding rods from inside the wheel, and the wheel is barely going. In fact, now it's just cut out. You can see that I've now removed the welding rods. They're over here, the caps. The wheel is scarcely going. Where it was 1810 before, it is now 758, 761, 71, 780. So with the RPM finally stabilized, the wheel finally stabilizes out at about 950. As opposed to with the core in it, you can see the core is now hollow. Same setup, same settings, same everything. We're looking at about 950. Over here are all the rods and everything that I took out of the center of it. About 950 versus 1810, which is where it was with the rods in. So you can see it's a significant. So you can see there's a significant difference having the rods in. So in short, what we've learned today is we've learned that first of all, having the rods in the core is much more efficient. We've also learned that the iron sleeve doesn't do anything. In fact, it makes it run much worse. So those are the two things we discovered today with our experiments, hollow core versus solid. My thanks to Dr. Peter Lindemann, my friend Sky Collection, and everyone else involved with this project.